What up, tube? What are we doing today? We're not doing much. It looks like a lot because we took everything out. We're actually going to do a quick inspection on everything. Want to make sure we're going on a road trip in 2 weeks. So I'm just checking everything over because it's a long road trip. We're going east from Texas to the East Coast and back. So I'm going to check our air filter. I'm going to just wipe down the top, make sure everything's where it should be, no leaks, change the oil. And then we're going to attempt to take this guy off because we got the infamous Cayman rattle under there, which is a little piece that comes loose under the cover. I don't know what it's for, but that's what the forums say. We'll figure it out, hopefully. Checking the power steering fluid. We good. Alright. Just taking the airbox out. I do have a video on when we actually swap this out. And we got to be careful. We almost lost one of the screws in that original video. So we swapped out the original air filter about a year ago. And right before we went to Supers in Vegas 2020, my last year of hosting that. So now, ooh, dirty. Dirty girl. So we're going to remove that top bolt. This allows us to pull this out. The outside's a little dirty. The inside's probably clean. We can re-oil this. That's what we intended to do. That's why we bought this filter. You know, when you're in here, it's just good measure to wipe this area down. Alright, so we're just going to spray this with the K&N filter cleaner. I got some left over from the Tundra, so that's nice. Don't be cheap on this. Get it all over. As you can see, we got about a quarter of a bottle left. We're just going to let it do its thing, and then we're going to rinse it off with the hose. You can see it's getting low. Give it one more turn. Do this about once a year depending on your driving. We're just going to hose off into a bucket. It's just a little bit more controlled this way. I think we got it all. It's pretty clean. Yes, I do have a water spigot, but I don't like using or a sprayer. But you can see already how much cleaner that is. And look at all that junk that came off of it. We're gonna look, air it out. High tech, guys. Alright, we're just going to let this sit on the concrete. The sun is not out today. We might have some rain, so we're trying to do what we need to do outside first. Alright, so I searched all over the Cayman forums, asked people I knew, and nobody can give me information on how to remove this panel. It's on there so good from the factory that you're prying on it with a plastic pry, and it's like, oh man, am I going to break it? So how did I figure? I figured this out simply by one day on eBay, someone was selling one of these. And they had a full detailed picture of it so you could see where all the clips were and where the two screw holes were right here and right here. So I took a plastic pry and I started right here. Pried that down and took a longer screwdriver and just popped it. And that releases all this. Once I've popped these loose, then you have to come in from this side right there and use a T25 Torx to remove the screw that's there and there. Okay, and then you just pull down on it. That's it. Now I'm going to take this panel off because supposedly there's something here that goes loose, and I got a little rattle that's coming from there. Alright, so real quick, just to touch one more time. 2 screws, here, here. That goes under your latch panel. And then you have all these clips. These clips, make sure they all look like diamonds. And they're not flattened out. You can order these from Pelican Parts for hella cheap. That's what it looks like under there. You got one plug. This connects to your actually hatch light. And this is what generally comes loose. So we're gonna, I don't know what this is, but anyone tell me, what is that? They're not speakers. But I'm gonna just double check the torque. There's nothing else under here, so that's gotta be it. Alright, so I took this off, inspected it, it looked fine, but when I tapped it really hard so you can push onto this, it was slightly touching the inside of this, which is metal. And I think that's where our vibration was coming from. You wouldn't hear it on the smooth highways, but you would hear it on these country roads we live in, and it was annoying because the hill country isn't smooth when we go on drives. So this is what I did. This foam, this is what we used for our drawer liners, and you can separate the layers. I cut strips out, and you can see one right there, and I cut strips out about the width of that, so about the width of this balancer. This is actually a trunk balancing weight is what it's called if you look up the part number. But yeah, so I did a couple strips, and then I cut the layers in half. So I only did, this is a 5 layer. I did 3 layers, I'm sorry, of the 5. And we put one here and one on the back side, and now it is nice. So I'm hoping that works. We're gonna button this up, jack up the car, drain the oil. The beauty of the 987 generation of the Caymans, both 0.1 and 0.2, is it's so easy to change the oil. There's no cover here under the oil pan. That's your oil pan. Your drain plug is right here. It is an 8mm Allen head. You loosen that guy up. Oil cap's on the top in the trunk. Obviously open the oil cap. Make sure you jack up and put your car on jack stand securely on the jack points provided by Porsche. If you don't know what they are, we do have a video, our earlier video shows what that is. And chock your tire. You see way over there, got a 2x4 under that. Chock your front tire. Safety first, y'all. Anyways, we're going to pull that off and we're going to drain it. That's one way to do it. Just remember, these are torqued down to 37 foot-pounds, and it's an aluminum drain plug. Treat it so. Okay, 37 foot-pounds to lock it in. And once you break it loose, it's just going to come off nice and easy. And you can't, I don't know if you can see here, but I got cardboard under my catch can. Use a proper catch can. I've had this one for a long time, from the Supra time. And then we shall, there it is. Catch your oil drain plug, clean it off, let that drain. It takes a while for the Cayman to drain out. There's 8 quarts of oil here, so it does take a little while. But what I'm going to do is go inside, clean my hand. Well, I'm going to clean my hand out here, wash my hands, make a PB&J, and come back out and do the filter, which is just over here, up there. So this is the oil filter we use. It's a Napa Premium, or Platinum, sorry. That's the part number. Now, the Porsche originally uses a canister with a filter element. I went to a traditional filter using the LN Engineering aluminum adapter plate that allows you to use a traditional filter. I like this better. The other one works just fine. This is just simpler for me, and just used to it. Just so happens to be that this part number is for a Supra, so it's kind of funny. I don't know. But the Ellen Engineering, I'm going to put a picture up in the corner, but I use that filter with a 72 millimeter filter cup adapter. So it goes in like that and allows you to get it loose, snug it up, etc. Let's get under there and get that old filter out and button everything up. Alright, I'm going to show you the filter. It's right there. This guy. It's right in front of the driver's side header, as you can see right there. Shine the light on it. We're going to take it off. We'll be done in a sec, and I'll give you an update on everything else. Alright, I'm talking over the engine because the Cayman, along with many other BMWs and Audis, does not have a dipstick, a traditional dipstick. So this takes 8 quarts, 7.5 to 8. I put in 7.5 quarts, which is enough to lubricate the engine, and I'm going to let the engine warm up. It's going to warm up for about 10-15 minutes, and then it'll allow me to check on the dash the oil level. And if it needs a little bit, I'll put a little bit in. If not, we're good. Alright, that's the oil I use. Amsoil European blend 540. The OEM calls for Mobil 1 040. 540 works just fine if you live in sub-frozen degree weather. So I don't know, maybe Michigan, Minnesota, stick to the OEM. Down here in Texas, well, the time it did freeze, we didn't drive the car, so I gotta close all this up. I just put that back on, but the car is warmed up. Check. All right, so caps on, car's warmed up, filter's missing. We're going to let's take a look at it real quick. A lot cleaner, nice and purple again. Okay, I'm gonna let it sit there overnight so that the oil is nice and dry and we can throw it back in. You see there in the little cubby hole, I put 2 quarts of oil. I'm taking that with me just in case on our road trip. Everything checked out just fine. When I was under the car changing the oil, I checked for any coolant leaks, anything obvious. Everything's dry under there. Checked from the underside. You can see the belt. I can see it from the top side with a flashlight as well. The serpentine belt looks good. I spun the tires around to see if there was anything in them. There's nothing on them, like no nails or anything I can catch in the next 2 weeks that it might need to fix, like change a tire or patch one. Who knows, right? So going on a long road trip, hey, check your car over pretty good. Fresh oil, everything else is good. I gotta clean all this up. That rattle hopefully is gone. Hey, good day today. We got stuff done, and I will update you on what's going on for our road trip in about a week. No new progress on that guy. Detailing stuff, we've been busy with that, but I am going to do some new videos after we get back. I'll update you all next week. I apologize for not putting up a video last week. I was busy with work, didn't get a chance, but hope you all had a great weekend last weekend and a great week last week, and I hope you all have a great week this week. God bless.